The consumer confidence report out today shows confidence down to 84.5 in January. That's the lowest level since 2014. It's a big miss from expectations, and the biggest red flag isn't where things are today. It's actually how Americans feel about what's coming next: jobs, income, business conditions. That's why we're going to bring in Jeffrey Small now for more on this. Jeffrey, good to have you.
Great to see you, Alicia.
So what's going on with how Americans are feeling about the future?
Well, I think today we had a consumer sentiment reading that was consistent with the last low we had, being this low of May of 2014. I'm not quite sure where that reading is coming from, because we're living in a true American growth story as Trump reindustrializes America with capital intensity and economic nationalism after decades of globalization and financialization, which really the U.S. is shifting from the cheapest supply chain wins to the most resilient and strategic economy wins. And so nationalism and nationalism economics is here to stay. And so maybe that's making people feel unsettled, but they should feel good about spending, because we had almost a 5% GDP rate last quarter, so I'm not quite sure where these are coming from. It's a little conflicting.
Yeah, zooming out now, you mentioned that we're watching sort of a shift in the U.S. economy, maybe the end of what you called the old globalized growth model, built on cheap imports, right, and the beginning of something different. Elaborate on that part.
Well, finally, labor leverage is returning to American workers, where American workers are no longer being undercut by the cheapest production cost and the cheapest labor on the planet, is where the economy has grown in the last 50 years. And so we're reindustrializing America, and we're scaling up technology at the same time with trillions of dollars of reinvestment coming into the United States. And so we see GDP in excess of 3%. And with oil costs dropping to $60 a barrel where they are, that's like a real tax cut. With the Big Beautiful Bill Act, we had great tax incentives with lower corporate taxes, immediate expensing, and favorable treatment for domestic investment. Really means there's another facilitator, a multiplier to the economy. So again, I think it's a little mystifying as to why consumers are like this. I think if we look back over the last 5 years, Alicia, what we've seen is, let's spend everything, because we're not sure how much time we have left on this earth in a post-COVID environment. And so folks maxed out their credit, they lived for the moment, and they've spent a lot. And when we go through a long-term 4 or 5 year spending spree like that, we're going to see a contraction. And right now, economics is cyclical, and we're seeing the sentiment indicate that.
Yeah, we'll see if the disconnect between, the good GDP number, for example, and how people feel, if that ever connects eventually, or if it changes. Jeffrey Small, partner of Retirement Income Source, thank you for your time today. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Alicia.
You got it.